Today on the channel we're going to talk about playing some blues patterns, some scales, and some arpeggios. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the pentatonic blues scale. We're going to talk about some arpeggios and some scales. I'm going to try to help you out with your improvisation, give you some ideas, maybe some fresh concepts on how to piece some of these together and come out with some cool ideas and maybe some new techniques when you're doing some solos and writing some songs. So first of all, let's talk about where this started. I want to give you a little bit of a backstory. I'm originally from Ithaca, New York, and I took guitar lessons for years out of the DeWitt Mall in Ithaca, New York, from a man named Chad McLaughlin, and I owe so much credit to Chad. I was 15 years old and going up to DeWitt Mall every other Wednesday at the Ithaca Guitar Workshop. Great bunch of guys, man. I love that place. I got to get back there one day soon, but Chad taught me a lot about scales, alternate picking, arpeggios, the blues pattern, lots of good stuff. And he would also show me songs. I would bring him all the new metal songs and pop songs and rock songs and classic rock stuff. And he would sit there and listen to the cassette and transcribe the stuff in front of me. So he would show me, if I learned my scales and my arpeggios each week, he would also show me some rock and pop songs, which I gotta admit I spent a lot more time sometimes working on, the new Van Halen song or the new Led Zeppelin lick that I was trying to learn or something like that than sometimes these scales and arpeggios. But over time I was able to piece what I was learning from a technical standpoint together with a lot of the material I was learning that was rock and pop. And to this day, that was the 80s, man. To this day, I still pull from that well of just knowledge. He really taught me how to fish and catch fish so I could eat forever. And there's so much to go over, but I'm going to give you some really basic but essential concepts that maybe you know, maybe you don't. If not, I hope that you get something out of this, but I'm going to start basic and I'm going to bring it up a couple notches and give you some ideas on what works for me. And you can apply this in any key. If you memorize these positions, you can do this in any key, but I'm going to talk about A minor today, okay? So I've got a little bit of a gritty sound going today because that's kind of the tone I'm going for. All right, so let's keep this simple. A minor pentatonic. First of all, on the 5th fret, A minor pentatonic on the 5th fret is the basic pentatonic scale that everybody learns first, I think, and it sounds like this. All right, A minor pentatonic is also the same as C major. So if you're in the key of C major, you can play the A minor pentatonic scale because that's the C major pentatonic scale. But we're not really going to talk about major minor relatives in this lesson, but if you ever want to know what the relative major is of the minor pentatonic scale that you're playing, if you're in this position, the second note of the scale is your relative major. So that's a C right there. So if we're in A minor pentatonic, that second note in the scale is your relative major. That's one easy way to think of it, So if you're in C, A minor. Now, in the A minor pentatonic position, your root note, which is your A, is here on the 5th fret on the low E. It's on the 7th fret on the D string, and it's on the 5th fret on the high E. Okay, now if you notice, I'm alternate picking. I'm going to start with a downstroke, and then do an upstroke, and then string skip, downstroke, up. Now that's the technique I learned. I practiced this forever, so it's very important for you to get this wrist motion and this alternate picking going down. Very disciplined, okay? So when you're doing scales and you're doing arpeggios, alternate picking, and when you're doing scales like this, alternate picking is very handy. It makes it very efficient. Makes you be able to play quickly later. If you practice with a metronome, it gets faster and faster and faster, and you get guys like Paul Gilbert that can alternate pick and hear every single note perfectly. You know, people like John Petrucci can do it also. Of course, there's a lot of legato, and there's tapping, and there's various other techniques, so alternate picking isn't the be-all, end-all of everything. I thought that was back when I was learning, so I really practiced alternate picking a lot. Then later on in life, I learned to, you know, sometimes pull off alternate pick and do different things with it. But I'd like for you to get used to alternate picking. That's one technique that you should master. Now, the A minor pentatonic scale is a great scale to practice your alternate picking with, okay? Now, the next position that you really should know, it's not really the next position, but it's kind of blending two pentatonic positions in A minor, would be to go up this scale here and then slide up like this and play up here and ending on the 10th fret. So there's a slide in there. Or you can pick it. There's no right or wrong. Now I'm just kind of messing around there with that scale. Now the reason this is nice is because there's a lot of licks that you can do in A minor. For instance, if you do a lick like this. Which I'm doing an up pick and a pull off, then a down pick. You can do a down pick and a down pick also. I like the up pick and the down. If you're up here on the 10th fret, you can go, and you're still in A minor pentatonic. You hear a lot of Zakk Wylde stuff where Zakk does these really fast. And all he's doing is he's taking the minor pentatonic scale that he's in, and he's hammering on the high E, and he's gonna, you know, probably hammer on the next note that's in that scale on the B string. Then he slides up to the next position. And he keeps going until he ascends to gets to the beginning of what he started with. All right, I hope that makes sense. But this scale here. It's nice because when you get up in this section, you can do stuff like this. When you blend two notes together, instead of going, you can go, and you can go. So you can get a lot of mileage off of just these two positions. For example, I'll give you just a little improv off the top of my head, all right? Okay, so that wasn't the best in the world, but I'm just kind of messing around. And if you notice, I'm doing some vibrato in there. And I'm doing some slides. Vibrato. Some bends. So I went up to this position. I'm on the 10th fret. I'm going to bend up a whole step. So what you do with this scale it's just not the notes, it's also what you put behind the notes. So I'm showing you these blended positions between this position and this one up here. And so what I'm trying to convey is with alternate picking and pull-offs, you can do a lot of really fast runs in this position. You can also have a lot of cool double stops. Double stops are when you play two notes together. So if you go right down the scale, Put some vibrato in there. So I'm just doing double stops up and down this pentatonic scale. That's where Chuck Berry kind of comes in. You can add this third fret down here. You can go 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. So that's adding, like, instead of going up here, you can go up there, right? So that's basically adding these two notes down here. It looks kind of cool too, because you can do this ascending looking pattern. It's all A minor pentatonic. End up here on the high E on the E string, and then 17 on the high E is the A, which is the octave. This A minor pentatonic scale, if you do 5 down with your pinky, starting on your pinky first, and then you go 5 down starting on the pinky on the next string, then 5 down here, 5 down, and you do it all together, like you get the Eric Johnson lick, so you can be like. Now how he does that is he pulls off. You're going pull off, hit, pull off, and then pick. So it's 3 picks. And then you start it again, but you got to start it quick. That's really complicated because it's 5/4. Once again, that's all in the pentatonic shape. And I'm showing you in A minor. This position will work anywhere. If you go up 2 steps, you're in B minor. If you go down 2 steps, you're in G minor. All right, so now back to A minor. Now we're going to add some, we're going to make it an A minor scale. We're going to change it from a pentatonic to A minor, which is also a C major scale, but we're not going there. So A minor is a pentatonic. The pentatonic scale has 5 notes. Pent means 5, like a pentagon, right? A 5-sided geometrical figure. All right. So, but a full scale has 8 notes. All right. So we're going to be playing it like this. So that's the same position as the A minor pentatonic scale, but we're going to be adding a couple more notes to it. So if you're in A minor, right, you got a groove going on in A minor. You can do A minor blues. Now you can do the A minor scale. Now, of course, I'm mixing it up. I'm not playing it just. That sounds too like you're practicing a scale. But what you have to do, back to alternate picking, is we're going to start on the 5th fret. We're going to go 5, 7, 8, which is down, up, down, and then down, up, down, 5, 7, 8, and then we're going to go 5, 7, 9. So 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 9. Then it's going to be 5, 7 on the G, and then 5, 6, 8, then 5, 7, 8. So altogether it's then down, Now what you can do also is you can mix the blues pentatonic scale with this minor scale. So you can be like, little notes like, once you get used to this position, right, and these notes, then you can start improvising with it. And the best way to do that is play over a jam track. Find something in A minor and play these positions I'm showing you slowly. You know, and playing with a metronome is essential, but it's kind of boring. So if you play to a jam track that's got a groove behind it, then that's essentially the same thing. Trying to play phrases on time and at a tempo that you can keep up with is very, very important. But at some point you got to keep trying to play quicker. It's okay to play sloppy. It's okay to keep pushing, because that's the only way you're going to get faster, is by playing sloppy. But you got to scale it back and bring it back slow again and practice the essentials slowly and get it down where you can hear each note. But keep pushing that tempo up quicker and quicker, and you'll finally reach your goal, okay? So this scale here, there's another position I'm going to show you, that same scale, and it's also an A minor scale, but it's C major and A minor. We're going to be up here on the eighth fret, so it's going to go. Now the reason I'm showing you this way is it's 3 notes per string. Guitar players love 3 notes per string. Then whatever, I'm just messing around, kind of showing you some possibilities there. So anyway, this scale, alternate picking, is going to be 8, 10, 12, then 8, 10, 12 on the A, then it's going to be 9, 10, 12 on the D and the G, and then it's going to be 10, 12, 13 on the B and the E. And then we're going to go down the same way. 13, 12, 10 on the E and the B, then it's going to be 12, 10, 9 on the G and the D, and it's going to be 12, 10, 8 on the A and the E. Then we're back to A minor. It ends on a C because it's a C major scale, but it's also A minor. All right, but it's going to be A minor, okay? All right, so I want to show you the A minor arpeggio that's going to reach from the 5th fret all the way up here to the 12th fret, and it goes like this. Okay? So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to go 5, 8 on the low E, and I'm going to be on 7, 7. I'm going to bar it like this. My ring finger goes. So it's 5, 8, 7, 7. Then slide up to the 10th, or lift your finger up and go to the 10th, either way. And then 9, 10 on the B, 8, 12. So all together slowly. Then going down, it's now one thing that's really nice about this arpeggio is this upper, the E and the B string. So if you pull off, guys that sweep will go. They take the top 4 strings of this arpeggio and wear it out, right? So, and they also do this whole thing. Now, I'm not much of a sweeper, but you know, I can if I practice it, but it's not really my favorite thing in the world. But I say, remember on these minor arpeggios, the top 2 and top 3 strings are really important when you're doing arpeggios. So you're doing a basic minor arpeggio like that. And you can alternate pick it or hammer on. Now you can move it around. It's kind of fun. So you can do your blues scale, your minor scale. All this together, the arpeggios, the scales, and the blues scale when you're in a minor scale or a minor key and you're improvising, right? These will all work. You just gotta move it to the position of the key that the song is in, all right? So anyway, hope that arpeggio helps. That's a really difficult arpeggio to get down clean, so I'd say practice that one slowly. Now, another really cool arpeggio, 2 more in this A minor pattern. And the B diminished arpeggio is pretty much like an E7. So when you're in A minor, going to E, this is a 5. But instead of doing an E major arpeggio, you can do a B diminished, which is basically an E sus4 dominant 7 chord. You know, it's like with an F. So it sounds really nice. And the way that arpeggio goes is it starts here on the 7th fret. It's gonna on the low E, so it's 7, 10, then A on the A. Then it's going to be a 6 on the D and a 9, and then a 7, 10 on the G, and then the 9th fret on the B, and then 7, 10 on the high E. So it's try to alternate pick it. Requires a lot of brain power, which I don't have. So if you do A minor, then B diminished, which fits well over the E7. Now what's cool about this diminished arpeggio is if you take the top 2 notes, or take the top 3 strings, then do the A minor, so what I did there was I took this, I'm pulling off, I'm going 10 to 7, and I'm going to pick the 9th fret on the B. And I'm picking the 10 and the 7 on the G. And then I'm going to hammer on 7, 10, and then pick the 9, and then pick the 7, 10. Then I'm going to go back to A minor. And I'm doing the bottom 4 strings of the top 4 strings of the A minor. Okay? One thing that you can do is take that riff, that diminished riff, go up 2 frets, go up to 2 frets, or 3, chromatically. And if you start way up here on the 19th fret and do the minor arpeggio, it's an E minor, which is like, not to blow your mind, but up here, that same arpeggio that I did here in A minor, if you started on the 19th fret, is an E minor. So what I did is I went up this diminished lick, and I ended on E minor. It's kind of crazy. So you can do stuff like that. All right, so hope that helps. I love the minor arpeggio and then this diminished. Now the major arpeggio, the C major arpeggio, is the same thing as an A minor arpeggio, but it works really nice up here on the 15th fret, like this. So you're basically making a C chord, like it's down here, but you're doing a C chord up here. And then, so if we start from the very top string, it's 15, 12, then 13 on the B, then it's 12 on the G, then it's 14 on the D string, and then 15 on the C, or the A string. Now you can alternate pick it. Now that's also an A minor, because if you put the 12th fret after that C on this A string, it's an A minor. Check that out. It's an A minor 7. But you don't have to put that A there. You can just play the C. One thing you can do is take this arpeggio and then move it around. E minor, diminish, diminish, major, diminish, minor. So everything I showed you right there is the 3 arpeggios. I'm just playing the top 3 strings, 3 to 4 strings on the diminished and the minor arpeggio, and then sometimes you can play the entire major arpeggio. So I encourage you to learn these shapes. Learn them like the back of your hand. Memorize these positions and play till your heart's content in A minor, and play over some backing tracks and some patterns with these, and really get them down, and then explore what they sound like when you decide to play them in G minor or E minor, and you'll learn different shapes, and that's where you're going to increase your vocabulary and learn how to play these shapes and positions in improv in different keys, not just one key. And then later on down the road, you can add other arpeggios to this arsenal and other positions of the pentatonic scale, as well as other positions of the major and minor scales, okay? I hope this lesson was helpful. Hope you like this kind of content. If you did, please consider subscribing, comment below, and as always, have a great day. Peace out.